Friendo, Steve here.
Yeah, Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're talking about the last collision before AEW New Japan Forbidden Door. Second episode ever of Collision. And we've got more matches now announced for Forbidden Door. Quite a few more matches.
Yeah, all in the 0 hour.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of 0 hour matches. I think are we up to 14 now, or is it 15?
Yeah, it's 14.
We're up to 14 now. So we're going to talk about that, how we think those matches might play out. They're sort of inconsequential, but, you know, I guess fitting more people on the show, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
So where do you want to get started, man?
Well, let's start with the main event. They gave it plenty of time, didn't they?
They gave it a lot of time. They gave it like a straight up half hour. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. So saw the team of Bullet Club Gold defeat the team of CM Punk, Ricky Starks, and FTR. We were curious. Obviously, Collision being in Chicago last week, CM Punk's return, we knew the reaction. He's going to get a favorable hometown reaction.
Yeah.
Real question was what kind of reactions Punk was going to get outside of Chicago. We got our first answer tonight in Toronto. The answer is mixed.
John Cena. He's the new John Cena.
He's the new John Cena. Some cheers, some boos, maybe some general indifference. I don't know. You can't really judge a difference because usually if you're indifferent, you make no noise.
Well, that is the thing, though. A lot of noise is being made.
Yeah.
And it was a mixture of boos and cheers. He seemed to get a kick out of it. He was really playing to the crowd, doing some silly stuff. He did like a Hogan big boot and leg drop at one point.
Flex too.
He was flexing a ton. And so, yeah, I mean, it seems like he's going to get a reaction one way or another. And depending on what the reaction is, I'm sure he'll play up different aspects of his character, to try to maximize that. But yeah, so we also got the a mystery opponent, the mystery partner for Sting and Darby Allin.
Yeah.
A guy that you and I had both been like, hey, why is this guy not in this show? And now he is. Tetsuya Naito. Of course, big history with Chris Jericho. This is sort of what we had figured. I saw like some sort of rumor earlier today that there was a meet and greet that was scheduled or publicized for Tetsuya Naito in the area that was quickly like taken back down. But no, this is really good stuff. I think that's a really cool team, Darby, Sting, and Tetsuya Naito. So that'll be a really fun match tomorrow on Forbidden.
It will be. Let's go back to the main event real quick.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, I said Bullet Club Gold, not Juice, Jay White, and the Guns, because it is official now. The Guns, they threw up their own gun fingers at the end, along with the rest of the Bang Bang Gang. Yeah. So it seems like they are officially part of Bullet Club Gold. Yeah. I mean, it's not really a huge surprise. Saw this coming a couple weeks ago when the Guns helped Jay White out. So it's a good addition for Bullet Club Gold. I think it's a really good opportunity for the Guns. They've grown quite a bit as performers. Still should have never taken those titles off the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
But
I'll be honest with you. I agree with that. But if you were gonna put them on the Guns, you keep them on the Guns for a while, because I don't know. I think the wins over, the win over FTR, there was like another big win that they had as well at the time. And I think it was even apart from the Acclaimed. I think that did enough for them to like get them to the spot. Like you put the tag titles on them, you don't need to take them off or just don't do it in the first place.
FTR is doing absolutely nothing with those tag titles right now.
That's the problem. FTR is doing nothing with those tag titles. But yeah, no, this is a good acquisition for Bullet Club Gold. I'm sort of hesitant to think that they're really. I really hope Bullet Club Gold is pushed. I kind of wish they wouldn't have even taken on the Bullet Club thing, simply because anybody who pays half attention knows that Jay White was kicked out of Bullet Club and they've got this new version of it. So it's kind of confusing, and Bullet Club's kind of not as strong as it used to be anyways. Yeah. So I don't know. The whole Bullet Club thing is, I guess I'm just taking the long way towards saying, how much of a push do you think Bullet Club Gold is really going to get? Obviously, Jay White got the win tonight. I kind of hesitate to think that he's going to get any clean wins over CM Punk or any wins over CM Punk in a one-on-one battle, which seems to be this is where it's headed. So I don't know. Where do you see Bullet Club headed?
I mean, if Tony Khan were smart, he'd add like one more member to Bullet Club Gold and then book them as the top heel faction on Collision, because it seems like they're going to be on Collision. And then after whatever Blackpool Combat Club kind of starts to fall apart, then Bullet Club Gold is top heel faction in all of AEW. That's how they should be booked.
Yeah,
because you want to, if you have a talent like Jay White on your roster, you build him up to be a main event guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And to do that, you need him to get wins over strong competition. If he's going to be in a faction, his faction needs to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that, like, their branding is still Bullet Club Gold, but the individual members thus far don't really say Bullet Club Gold when they talk about their group. It's Bang Bang Gang.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So they're on in a seemingly an official capacity. They're using the Bullet Club branding, even though gold. But kind of informally, casually, it's Bang Bang Gang.
Yeah, it
feels like they're trying to have it both ways. Well, hey, we're Bullet Club because we can sell T-shirts with the logo on it.
Yeah,
but they're trying to exist as kind of their own thing.
Yeah, AEW's never been like great with like factions or faction names. Like the Inner Circle was a cool name, but it had like a terrible logo. The Outcasts, I think, is probably the strongest sort of faction / name that they have. Blackpool
Combat
Combat
theme's
Club
really good too.
Yeah, it's got a good theme. Blackpool Combat Club is kind of cool, but like it doesn't really have a Blackpool connection anymore.
Yeah, that Regal's gone. Yeah,
now the Regal's gone. But anyway, I mean, it was sort of quibbling over silly stuff right now. I really hope that whatever they do with Bullet Club Gold with Jay White really elevates Jay White as opposed to offers up fodder for CM Punk. I mean, I think I want somebody like tonight was not, oh my God, Bullet Club Gold is so dangerous. They're a real threat to FTR and CM Punk. Given, I mean, dude, this was basically a house show match. It was a 10-man tag match. Anything can happen. And Ricky Starks ate the pin here, thanks to Jay White. But like, really, I don't know that it did much for Bullet Club Gold. And I don't know it did much against, you know, to put CM Punk, FTR, I guess Ricky Starks. I don't know. They're not even really a faction. Yeah. Like, I don't know that it really did much.
Yeah, to put them on their heels or anything like that. Yeah,
we're a threat. This is a dangerous crew. You should fear us. Yeah. Which is what you need if you're gonna have a feud. Is that the bad guy needs to come off as a real threat?
Yeah, so, I mean, Jay White should have got the pin, and then everybody in Bullet Club Gold after they did the you know, like his Guns are official members. Then they should have went out and beat the hell out of FTR, CM Punk, and Ricky Starks.
If there was a situation where, and I don't know, maybe you don't do that in a place that half the crowd's already booing CM Punk. Maybe that's the idea. But I kind of feel like if they're not in Chicago, tonight was a good litmus test for what we're to expect with CM Punk.
Yeah. I know.
And so, but yeah, you know, you have the bad guys really beat the shit out of the good guys. And then it's like, oh man, how are they going to respond? Mm-hmm. And I didn't really get that from the end of the main event tonight. Honestly, it just felt like a road to. I'll be honest with you. You guys want to call me an AEW, a WWE sweaty. It's like go home SmackDowns these days. Go home SmackDowns are not all that great, or go home Raws even for that matter. No. They're just there to sort of promote that there's a show coming up, but there's no story beats there. And
not tonight, really. No, it reiterates the story beats that have already happened. Yeah.
In the main event, I didn't really see any big story beats there.
No, either. I mean, thus far, 2 weeks into Collision, it seems like the focus is going to be on the in-ring product, and they'll sprinkle some promos or story beats throughout. Thus far, I mean, 2 episodes is a small sample size. I mean, all the matches tonight were really good.
Mm-hmm,
So, can't really quibble about the in-ring aspect of it, even though the main event was probably 10 minutes too long.
Well, that's one thing about AEW is you never quibble about the in-ring stuff. Like, by and large, like 85% of the in-ring stuff is always really, really good. Yeah. And that's why I think, you know, people who are like, yeah, dude, I just want to see good wrestling, that they are attracted to AEW for good reason.
Yep. Let's talk these new matches for Forbidden Door. There's 3 of them added, as mentioned, to the 0 Hour, the kickoff show. The first one is United Empire. So you got Jeff Cobb, Kyle Fletcher, TJP taking on LIJ member Shingo Bushi.
Mm-hmm.
And Hiromu Takahashi taking Time Bomb. So it's cool that they're all on the card. It's one of those situations, though. There's so many matches. You look at the individual roster. He's like, wow, I want to see this performer versus this performer. I want to see Takahashi versus Darby. I want to see Shingo versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But, unless they do like a 3-day event with 30 matches, you can't get all those matches, one-on-one bouts. You got to have a bunch of tag matches. It's kind of what it is.
Yeah, and that match isn't even like, it's just New Japan versus New Japan.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I guess.
Kyle Fletcher is AEW.
Kyle Fletcher is now, but like, yeah. I mean, I can appreciate that factions kind of, I don't know, how do you feel about this? Like, I can appreciate on one hand that factions are sort of cross promotion now. Like,
yeah.
You got different Bullet Clubs and now a United Empire guy. I think Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis are going to stay United Empire.
Yeah.
But they're just going to be signed to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, I appreciate that. On the other hand, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of like just everybody being in one universe, So, I mean, I don't know. It's like that specific match is just basically New Japan versus New Japan because Kyle Fletcher's been in AEW for like a second,
Yeah, yeah. Also announced Stu Grayson taking on LP El Phantasmo. It'll be a fun bout.
That'll be a really good match.
Fun bout.
Yeah, and that's AEW versus New Japan. That's good stuff.
Yeah. And LP got kicked out of Bullet Club too, so I wonder what he's up to.
He needs to be up to being an AEW and Bullet Club Gold is what he needs to be.
You got that right. Bang Bang Gang for LP.
Bang Bang Gang.
And then finally, Mogul Embassy, Swerve, Toa Leona, and Bishop Khan be taking on. This is an interesting team here. So you got Roppongi Vice. Remember, it's Chaos in New Japan.
Roppongi Vice.
And then El Desperado, who I think now post Suzuki Gun, I don't believe he is member of faction.
He's unaffiliated?
Currently. I don't believe so.
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
Bang Bang Gang is a much cooler name than Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah.
You can get a really cool logo out of Bang Bang Gang.
Good. But AEW has not been good at designing logos for their factions for the most part.
Their merch has fallen off. Their merch is like borderline WWE territory now.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, I mean, those are kind of not the most consequential matches. That's why we're not in any big rush to add them to our predictions challenge.
Yes.
Of course, we've got that actively going on right now. We've had, I think, over 100 signups already.
Yeah, already. And we didn't even have the go-home show, which, of course, just happened. So I imagine by the time the show starts, we'll be pushing, I don't know, we can say 175 maybe?
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's great.
Because last time we got like 164?
I think it was 164, yeah.
Something like that.
So if you guys still want in, the deadline is tomorrow at 3:30 Pacific, I think. And you can get there at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. $5 and up gets you access to that. Or if you click join on the YouTube, you get access to the Big Blue Predictions Challenge as well. So what time is the deadline tomorrow? You're turning
3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern tomorrow
Okay, cool.
afternoon,
Right
evening.
And then, of course, we're doing the watch along for Forbidden Door tomorrow across both platforms. I guess that's going to be, given that there's so many matches on the 0 hour, I think at this point we got to be at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I got to start at 4 o'clock. Yeah. Cody here in chat says we're up 120 already.
Whoa. All right. I'm gonna lock mine in tonight, man. Out of reverence and homage to the Enforcer, I might set my alarm for 4 o'clock in the morning. See if I can get some 4 a.m. picks.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great idea. We can get to the Collision recap here a little bit. The show opens up with CM Punk's team, Phil, FTR, and Ricky Starks. And I was like, it was a cold open. I'm not used to this on an AEW show.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't prepared to take notes for this aspect. Thanks for Chris Garrix. Again, in a pinch, getting these notes done for us. Much appreciated, Chris. Chris is awesome, the absolute best. I didn't catch everything what was said here, although Phil did mention about something about Bullet Club tugging on their balls or something like that.
Yeah, it was very intense. It was like both groups of people. What's going on, man? What's going on over there?
Hold on, give me a second.
Anyways, it was both groups. They both talked a lot of shit to each other. CM Punk, told Bullet Club, tug on your balls. Everybody got a little spot. Of course, Juice Robinson puts his face right up into the camera, and he's yelling stuff. So, that was a good thing. Juice says, ain't going to be no sleeping tonight. Bang Bang Gang's going to get you. And the Gun says, it doesn't matter the night. Whatever the show we're on is the A show. And then after that, this was great because then we have Shivani introduces Darby and Sting, but instead Jericho and Suzuki. Minoru Suzuki come to the ring instead. Jericho says, shut up, Schiavone. Y'all can shut up too. I'm not from Toronto. I'm from Winnipeg, you idiots. Because Canada, of course, they want to cheer Jericho because no matter where you're from in Canada, if you're in Canada, that's your hometown. Bret Hart established that.
Yes.
He says, we're in a bad mood anyways. He says, we're many pissed off because Sting and Darby has made us wait. So who are you going to get that's tougher than Suzuki? Who are you going to get that's crazier and sexier than Chris Jericho? And Sammy's not there. And he says that. He said, even though Sammy's not with us, he's still one of the greatest high flyers. So I ask you again, Sting, who are you going to get that's going to intimidate us? He says, we know you know who their partner is, Shivani. So while we wait for Sting, and he's got the bat up to Shivani. He says, why don't you tell me who your partner is? And he backs Tony down into the corner there. And then Sting's music hits. And as Shivani has the bat to him, he says, it's Sting!
Oh, it was so good. It was off. He wasn't on camera either. You just hear him go, it's Sting!
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
It was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
So Darby and Sting come out. Darby says, shut up. You know what? I like when you do the Darby Allin. You do a good right. Darby Allin.
I do? Okay.
Yeah.
Shut up, Chris. I got something to say. Sammy, maybe your common sense kicked in. You realize you don't need Jericho. Know this. If you show up at Forbidden Door and stand with Chris and Suzuki, I'm going to kick your ass. Like our tag partner kicked your ass. Looks at Jericho. At Tokyo Dome. Yeah. I think you know who it is.
Yeah, and then Sting whispers something to Jericho again.
Yeah. And then you hear Naito's music hits.
Oh, man.
And he takes a sweet time, as always, getting to that ring.
He's got the immaculate white cape with the white suit. Just looks like a million. He's not coming down in no gray sweatpants, Larson.
Nope. No, this isn't a Road 2, so no baseball hat and merch shirt.
He did have a baseball hat in hand, though.
Yeah,
which was kind of funny.
Maybe on the way out, he put the hat back on to go with it, or hat on to go with the whole suit ensemble.
Yeah, he loves that.
Oh yeah. So he gets Naito gets right in Jericho's face. He does the eye thing to him, and then Jericho and Suzuki just take their leave. This will be a really fun bout. It's great to see Naito involved in one of the Forbidden Door shows. He wasn't on the one last year.
Yeah,
but like you could probably think of 4 people you want to see Naito face in a one-on-one bout.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I agree. Dude. And again, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the politics involved, but like, give me CM Punk versus Naito. That's like match number 1 I'd love to see with Naito.
Yeah. I don't know if there's like, I don't know the politics, how that plays and everything. Like the people in New Japan's like, not losing. I
mean, Naito lost to Jericho, didn't he?
Oh, he got destroyed by Jericho their first match.
Yeah.
But then they had another match where Naito won that one. So it's part of a story. This is like a one-off match between Naito and Punk, and Punk wins.
CM Punk's like, I don't want to have to figure out how to take Destino.
Maybe.
Nothing makes me laugh more than Jericho being like, what? How do I take Destino?
All right. Royal Chief here in chat says Naito is on a no-loss list. So if New Japan maybe has a list of like, these people ain't losing.
Is
Naito's
he?
On it.
That could very well be. That would not shock me at all.
Yeah,
that wouldn't shock me at all. I don't know, because I haven't watched New Japan in a little while, so I don't know. Like, is his status right now as winning guy? Is he going to be the guy? Is he going to be the young up and comer that beats Sonata?
Maybe. Yeah. I kind of vaguely remember Meltzer talking about a list of people that New Japan doesn't want to have lose. I kind of vaguely remember that, so maybe
Okada's
that's what Royal Chief here.
List, right?
Yeah, Okada's on there.
Why Okada's totally.
I think the thing was like Tana. Oh yeah, the context is Tanahashi used to be on that list.
Yeah,
people who don't lose, but now Tanahashi can lose.
All right. Before we get to the rest of our AEW Collision recap, what do you say? Let's go ahead and pay some bills, man.
Let's do it. Let's take a quick break here. Get a word from our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. Steve, I've been talking about some of the accidents I've either been involved in or witnessed during my life, and I've mentioned a few ones I remembered this week. And I mentioned something about taking the firework to the face.
Yeah.
And I realized it sounds like it could be like awful. I didn't really get into any details about it. So if you want to hear more, I could tell you more.
Are you comfortable with that?
No, it's totally fine. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So, I was young. I was at a visiting family in a state where there's really no limits on the kind of fireworks you can buy.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this one was fashioned like a space shuttle. It was the shape of a space shuttle. So someone puts it down and lights it, and this thing shoots off. I think it's like a tree stump or something. It shoots off and just pow right in my face.
You're literally like the most. That's the word. You're like the most accident prone person
I mean, like that could have happened to anybody. There was like a bunch of us out there that could have hit anybody out there. But that's my point. I keep trying to make this point to you, Steve, that accidents can and do happen. Happened to me, apparently. I bet you they happen to you. They can happen to anybody.
I mean, yeah, they happen to me sometimes, but like I've never had a space shuttle hit me in the face.
It wasn't like a full-size space shuttle, Steve. And you can be injured because of those accidents when you least expect it. Luckily, I've never been seriously injured or hurt due to any of these accidents I've been in. But if you ever find yourself injured, you can check out America's largest injury law firm with over 100 offices nationwide, Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan has a proven record of getting their clients full and fair compensation. Get this, Steve. They've recovered more than $15 billion for their clients.
Oh, my goodness. And Morgan & Morgan makes it easy to submit a claim. It's more like ordering takeout than hiring a lawyer. In 8 clicks or less, you can submit your claim, and you can do it without having to leave your couch. So if you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/raw or dial #law. That's #529 from your cell phone.
That's forthepeople.com/raw or #law, #529 from your cell. This is a paid advertisement.
And before we get back to the show, we're going to get a quick word in from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Larson, it can be pretty easy to get caught up in what everybody needs from you, whether it's work, family, or friends. You can spend so much time giving that you start feeling stretched too thin and burned out because you can't find the time to take a moment to think about what you need from yourself.
Yeah, when I was in my mid-20s, I had lost that balance, and I felt like I wasn't giving myself the time to figure out what I needed for me, and because of that, I started dealing with pretty severe anxiety. Eventually got to the point where I made the realization that I had to go to therapy. And it took me a few times to find someone I felt comfortable talking to, but once I did, I learned the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety. So if you're looking to bring some balance back to your life, therapy can help you learn the tools you need so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try.
BetterHelp is entirely online and is designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. And all you got to do to get started is fill out a brief online questionnaire, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. So find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw. Before we continue on with our, let me ask you, what year was that space shuttle firework incident?
It's probably mid-80s, 84, 85.
Well, the year is kind of important.
Oh, yeah, I see your point.
This came to mind, like, it was probably pre-1986.
Yeah, it was, yes.
But yeah, if you guys can do us a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and a little notify bell next to it, so you guys will be notified tomorrow when we go live for the Forbidden Door watch along. That'd be much appreciated. Again, the predictions challenge is still open. If you want to get in right now, you can try to take that big blue title off of John Hosey. Just click join on YouTube, or you can go to patreon.com/Steve and Larson, and yeah, $5 and up or more. Cody says, I'm not gonna
oh my goodness.
One. Oh man. Anyways, let's just continue on. This was an interesting little character twist that we had from the Redeemer Miro, with a 1-minute video promo. So he's got a video package, and then it goes to him, and it's a great, really wonderfully lit. There's like a flickering light behind him.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
And he says, basically puts God on blast. He says, when the coward spoke, he said I would be his champion again. He says, but I realize my God is an idiot. He says, I renounce my God, my titles, and my beautiful wife. I am Miro, and I am godless. So he doesn't need titles. He doesn't need, sex anymore. And he sure doesn't need that dummy God.
Doesn't need the almighty, a deity.
Right, exactly. So
yeah, it's an interesting pivot for the Miro character. I'm interested to see where this goes now.
I know. I wish that they would have made sort of like, I don't know, a bigger deal about it. He had a match last. It was didn't he have like a squash match last week?
Yeah.
It'd be cooler if they just let him get on the mic last week and sort of
after the win.
After the win, maybe put a spotlight on him or something, or a red light on him. Make a bigger thing about it, as opposed to just like a 1-minute promo where
I'll say this. I think in the entirety of Miro's run in AEW, I can think of like one, outside of his return. I think there is one promo he gave in the ringside area. I think it was at one of the Blood and Guts shows.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of his story beats, a lot of his character motivations come in these little short films. Yeah.
Cinematic little short promo deals. So it's fitting with kind of the approach they've taken with Miro.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point.
First match of the night. It's a good one. Swerve Strickland taking on Go Ace Hiroshi Tanahashi. Of course, Tanahashi has an AEW World Championship match tomorrow at Forbidden Door against MJF. Swerve on Rampage. We'll talk about Rampage later on. Dropped a promo there saying that he was going to get Tanahashi out of his way so then he could have the title match against MJF. Considering they've been advertising Tanahashi being in this match for several weeks, I was hoping Swerve would win. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. It was a really good bout, though.
Yeah. No, it was. Swerve took the loss here with a high fly flow from Tanahashi. And afterwards, MJF's music hits, but he doesn't show up. He shows up on the Videotron above the entrance. And he says, you weren't dumb enough to think I would show up in person, right, Tanahashi? He says, here's the deal. I'm going to embarrass you and anyone who thought you were on my level. I spoke to Tony Khan. The only way I'm showing up is if we are match number 1 on the card. I'm not staying around in a dump like Canada any longer than I have to, and I hold the Triple B, baby. You think I want to spend my time watching indie jabronis from Japan wrestle? I don't think so. I'm going to take that air guitar, stick it between your bony, what do you call them? Bow-legged knees.
Yeah.
And shove it up your ass. So with all due respect, Ace, you're not on the level with the devil.
Yeah.
Good promo there from MJF.
Yeah. So it's another instance of Swerve getting a really high profile match here.
Yeah.
Taking the L.
Yeah.
But hopefully, it's leading to huge things for Swerve down the line.
I would like to. I mean, look, this was a big spotlight. It was this could have been any number of people in this spot. They put Swerve in the spot. Yeah. I don't know. I still think, I like mogul affiliates. I do. I like Prince Nana.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's like, I don't know, big enough for what I think Swerve should be doing, and I know some of it is like they need to be elevated with him, but I don't know. There just needs to be more of a danger element there. And that honestly,
absolutely.
Comes from
I mean, that's the same thing we said about Bullet Club Gold, Bang Bang Gang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. Yeah.
But at least Bang Bang Gang, at least as a unit and Jay White individually is getting wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that goes so far. But if you got a heel faction, they got to be dangerous. They got to be threats to people.
Yeah, right.
And it's just been inconsistent with mogul affiliates. So I think the group he has now is a huge upgrade from what Swerve,
because they can wrestle.
Yeah. And having Prince Nana there is great. I think the factions packaging is awesome. We say every week, every AEW show that Swerve's on, we just speak endlessly about how great Swerve is.
Yeah, man.
And it seems like all the ingredients are there to really push him. You just got to hope it happens.
Yep, I agree. After that, oh my God, this match was stiff as hell.
Yeah, this match hurt to watch.
Brody King versus Andrade El Idolo. And yeah, these guys were laying it in thick, man. This was so much fun to watch, just beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah, they were.
In the end here, we had Andrade with a flying forearm, tries for a Death Valley driver, but King is able to drop off. Andrade hits a big corner clothesline and double knees to Brody for a 2 count. Andrade tries for a hammerlock DDT, but Brody blocks that. Andrade hits a corner boot. Brody blocks that again. Brody's knee gives out because Andrade was working Brody's knee the entire time. That gives out. He manages to hit a Death Valley driver into the corner on Andrade. Brody hits a cannonball in the corner. Really, that's a big dude hitting a cannonball like that.
Yeah, I know.
Tries to get Andrade up, but the leg gives out. Andrade hits a chop block, tries for a figure 4, but Julia gets on the apron. He's got Andrade's mask. And Andrade gets up. He's like, hey, come on. That's my mask. Put that down. And then, but that doesn't really do much for Brody because Andrade just hits like a back elbow on Brody, locks in a figure 4, gets in the figure 8. But then Buddy Matthews comes up. He attacks Andrade, causes a DQ win for Andrade.
Yeah. Hard hitting match. Tons of fun. And they don't do DQs a whole lot in AEW. Made sense here to protect everybody, I suppose, and advances the feud. So then afterwards, Buddy lays into Andrade with some punches, and eventually Brody hits his finisher, the Gonzo Bomb. And then, like on the Tron in the background, you just see like a kind of a static shot of Malachi where he's really slowly lifting his head up.
Yeah, right.
While the action's going on in the ring, and just ends with Julia lifting up Andrade's mask. And
they just had some like leftover footage. Like they started rolling camera, but they had to wait for the sound guy.
So it's like, fine, there's some B-roll, we'll use it somewhere. And so they put some filters on it to make it look real dramatic.
Yeah. The thing that I like about this is that so far right now, it just seems like Andrade's a man alone.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that they continue that, because it seems like Malachi versus Andrade, that's going to be, that could be a big match.
Yeah.
They didn't announce that match, did they? Is that happening?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, well, let's hope we get that match. And then you can bring in LFI to come help out Andrade.
Bring in Roosh.
Situation.
Yeah.
If that's what they're going to do. I mean, Andrade's a good guy. LFI generally are bad guys.
Yeah, so that's true. That's
could
true.
Just be like good wrestling, though. You know, I don't
that
care.
Could
Roosh,
be.
in my eyes, Roosh is a good guy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, dude.
Same. So then Tony Schiavone comes down the ring. He welcomes Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. And, of course, Christian from the Toronto area. He gets a good pop. And so he's got the title all over his shoulder. Luchasaurus doesn't. So during this promo, Christian in the foreground talking, and Luchasaurus is always right behind him.
Yeah.
Almost like he's existing in the shadow of Christian Cage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Tony says, welcome. Says, you're back home. You guys must be pretty excited after last week. How's it feel being home? And Christian says, Tony, I left the show last week and I was in a really bad mood for many reasons, but I knew I'd be back in Toronto in the TNT championship. And now I'm in an even worse mood. After leaving Pearson Airport, all the memories flooded back. The city breeds losers, and in turn, populated by losers. So there was a good portion of the crowd that was cheering him along.
They were, he was doing his damnedest to get it, and eventually, by the end, they were doing the crap at him. But I think they're all just having a good time. They all love.
They were, because he mentions the Toronto Maple Leafs, who have been fairly hapless in the playoffs for a number of years, and they got some boos from anybody wearing Maple Leafs gear.
Mm-hmm.
And he says the only glimmer of hope the city's has in 2019 when the Raptors won the title. That was only because of one man, Kawhi Leonard. He's a close friend of mine. And I called him up. I talked to him. I said, what are you doing here carrying the burden of these losers, and you need to leave? And I had to leave here to become a winner. He says, but first, got a few housekeeping items. 1, no more open challenges. They're done. You need to earn this title shot the same way I did. I'm not going to sit here and say I created this title as a vanity project and used to travel the roads in AEW, huh? As a shot at your guy.
At Cody Rhodes. What the heck, Christian?
He says, I'll make this belt the most prestigious in AEW. We will be the face of TNT now and forever.
Yeah, it was a solid promo. It was a really good promo.
It was really good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like if you didn't know, you'd be like, oh, Christian's the champion, which is great. That's awesome.
You know, it'd be interesting if they kind of free-birded the title, where if it's somebody that Christian was like, I'm not sure about this guy, Luchasaurus, you go do it.
What if Christian only defends it against complete jabronis? Yeah.
That's kind of the point I was getting at.
Yeah. No, that'd be awesome. But then he also said, like, everybody has to scratch and claw in order to fight.
Yeah.
But he's a bad guy, so he could be lying about that, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this guy, Jeremy Prophet. Yeah, he scratched and clawed. So I'm going to beat him up.
He's earned himself a TNT title opportunity.
Yeah. No, I like it. I can't. Yeah, I like that. That's a cool idea. I kind of also like the idea of just Luchasaurus putting in all the work.
Yeah.
And Christian reaping all the benefits.
Exactly.
That's good stuff.
We get this really cool video package for the men's Owen Hart tournament.
Owen.
So we had the Satoshi Kojima say he was going to kill CM Punk.
Oh yeah.
He called him an idiot.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then Punk was like pretty like respectful. It was like, hey, you're a legend, but when the bell rings, I'm gonna rip that dude's ear off.
Yeah. Called him a fucker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did.
Said I'm gonna rip that fucker's ear off.
Joe and Roddy put each other over, and Joe was saying they've never had a match before.
Did he?
Which is why that's what he said. He said
I thought he said Roderick Strong always loses to me.
Well, I thought he said we've never had a match in before, which is why Roderick Strong has never beaten me. But maybe I misheard that.
Oh, I thought he said the one thing that always remains is that Roderick Strong never.
Oh, okay, that could wins. Be. I had commentary in one in one ear and us talking in the other ear. So
the TV show watch-alongs that we do, like it's always a pain because like I'm trying to pay attention to this, and they got like a 5-minute promo going on. So
we're trying to engage our audience here.
Engaging.
So Hobbs tells Dustin it's the end of the road for him, and then everybody puts themselves over, which is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that Roderick Strong match with Samoa, that's going to be fucking outstanding.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be so good.
It ended with Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kind of punctuating bit to it.
Yeah.
Then we got Owen Hart quarterfinal in the women's tournament. Willow taking on Nyla Rose. Really fun bout.
Mm-hmm. So at the very least, they fought in IWA Mid-South in 2004.
Oh, all right.
There's at least that one.
That one match, okay.
Let's see. Here, Roger Strong versus Samoa Joe. Ring of Honor, Glory by Honor.
All right,
day
I misheard it. Fair enough.
Just wanted to make sure I didn't mishear it. So, yeah, Willow Nightingale versus Nyla Rose here. Good stuff. Willow getting Nyla up for that freaking Dr. Bomb or something.
Yeah.
Else, huh? That was awesome.
That was great. Good win for Willow. Afterwards, the Outcasts come out. They surround the ring, looking like they're going to attack Willow. Then Sky Blue's music hits. She's been getting a bit of a push of late.
Mm-hmm.
She comes in with a chair, and Tony raises the belt up, and then all the Outcasts leave.
Yep. Yeah. After that, backstage, we got a new Scorpio Sky. He says, I watched the video of my accomplishments last week. He says, I should have felt good. He says, I struggled before I got here and I let things control me. So I figured, let me reintroduce myself. Scorpio Sky is back now to find out who he really is.
The one thing he mentioned is he lists off all his accomplishments. 1/2 of the first tag champs, 2-time TNT champ. And he said he did all that without being at 100%.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And now I'm back to being at 100%. So you're going to see who I really am now. So I'm excited to see Scorpio Sky back. He's awesome. Awesome.
No, I think this is awesome. It's a good sort of clean slate for him. Mm-hmm. It's hard to I know that AEW compared to WWE obviously is a really young company, but it's been 4 years now, and it's been a while since we've seen. I mean, I know he had that TNT run. How long ago was that? Was that 6 months now?
What, that he was TNT champ?
Yeah.
Longer than that.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
How long has he been gone? He's been gone for a long time.
Yeah, I think it was early 2022 that he was TNT champ.
No way.
Mid 2022 at the latest.
Holy shit.
He's been gone for a while.
Yeah, he has been.
He has been gone for a while. Here, I'll check on that. Go on, move on.
So after that, we had Powerhouse Hobbs versus Jeremy Prophet. Unfortunately, no prophecy came true for Jeremy Prophet.
So sorry to interrupt. We haven't seen Scorpio Sky since April of 2022.
Oh my God, it's been that long.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Wow. Yeah, time is time. It has no meaning anymore for me since COVID, especially the pandemic. 2020 seems like it should be 18 months ago.
Yeah, no.
So anyways, Powerhouse just absolutely annihilates Jeremy Prophet with a series of this poor son of a bitch who's getting the big lariats standing there because Hobbs
he was
holds
sandwiched
him up.
Between right arm and left arm lariats.
Bang, bang. And then he just drops him nasty with a spine buster. Oh my gosh. That was good stuff.
Good win for Powerhouse Hobbs. Now get him involved in some interesting stories, please.
That'd be nice.
Without QTV.
Yes, that'd be ideal.
Then we have our main event. CMFTR and Ricky Starks taking on, officially now, Bullet Club Gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bang, bang, gang. And yeah, this was honestly, like I said, it was a really fun match, and it was especially fun watching CM Punk react to the crowd. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a very John Cena reaction,
Yes.
And he had the same sort of tickled. I don't know if I've ever seen this on CM Punk before. A very tickled look on his face at, okay, half these guys are booing me, half these guys are cheering me. How do I react? And it looked like he was having some fun in there.
Yeah.
Again, they were laying in thick with the chops. This is 2 weeks in a row we've seen this now, and the finish was just absolute madness, just all sorts of shit going on. But in the end, it was a Blade Runner to Ricky Starks from Jay White that took down Team CMFT Ricky Starks. And bang, bang, gang. And then they do the big thing where they got all the gun fingers in the thing, and the Austin and Colton, they bang, bang, gang.
Put them all in there, all four of them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good
There
stuff.
was that spot where Cash hits a huge suicide dive on
God.
2 or 3 people ringside, and looks like he basically, it's like he had the spirit of Ray Phoenix within him.
Yeah, Cash.
And launched himself through those ropes and was almost seemingly going over the barricade.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like he had a bunch of momentum.
He was aiming for the Widow, man. He saw the Widow up there.
Yes.
He's like, I'm gonna fall right in her lap.
So that was kind of scary because he took a rough landing, and then there's this bit where Starks doles out spears for everybody, but then Blade Runner.
Andrade had that big old moonsault earlier in that match with Brody, where he whacked his head on the barricade there. But
that was huge too because he did it over the ring post.
Yeah, I know. It was scary.
That was crazy.
So scary.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You want to talk Rampage a little bit?
Yeah, we can talk a little bit of Rampage. Of course, it made the rounds on social media. Is a great bit here. It's like the best thing QTV's ever done. Where what's her name again?
Harley Cameron.
Harley Cameron. She gets in there and she's like, "Hey, I can party. I can rap. I can sing." And so she does a bunch of like silly shenanigan stuff. And then she starts trying to use her feminine wiles, her sex appeal, to appeal to Anthony Bowens. And of course, it's been no secret, like, Anthony Bowens has been out for a while now. And she's like, "Come on, you and I can make a great couple." He's like, whoa, stop this shit. Let me ask you a question. Were you kicked in the head by a kangaroo too much as a kid? She's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Can't you see my gear? I'm gay." And then the crowd starts a he is gay chant. It was awesome. I mean, thinking about watch any episode of Attitude Era Raw.
Yep, I was gonna bring that up as well. Yeah,
and the wrestling crowds, and I'm not gonna say across the board because there's still, as he said in his tweet, there's a long way to go.
Yes,
but to see a crowd lovingly, fully embrace a line like that was really something awesome. It was really something special. It really cool.
was. It really was. It really was. Yeah, you look at some of those old Attitude Era Raws.
Oh,
some of the signs people brought.
Oh, dude, it's hard. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the lines of the promos of the wrestlers.
Oh my God, yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, but this is a really, really great moment, and
it really was.
And dude, it's stuff like that. Honestly, if you do stuff like that, like when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, shit. Now I got to watch Rampage. It's like you need stuff like that on the show to bring people back to watching Rampage, because obviously, they've sort of neglected it for a long time. Yeah.
Another reason to watch Rampage is when they have good matches on, like this Doki Jungle Boy main event.
Oh, it was good stuff. Yeah.
It was fantastic. I mean, I should say we are a little familiar with Doki. We know of him from New Japan, but I think most of the matches I've watched of him have been like multi-man tag matches.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe I've seen one of his singles matches. I don't recall.
Mm-hmm.
But even outside that crazy spot he did where he did a senton off the top rope through a table that put Jungle Boy through a table, some of his counters were really cool.
Yeah.
Like that one where Jungle Boy was charging him, he basically did the splits, so Jungle Boy like goes flying through the ropes.
Yeah.
It was super fun. The crowd was getting really behind Doki.
Yeah.
They were booing Jungle Boy by the end. Which is kind of what you want if the story is Jungle Boy's turning heel.
Oh, they're gonna have no choice now, and it seems obvious that that's been the story. But like, you got to think, good thing that they're doing that, because the crowd is not, especially putting him in an IWGP title match against Sonata, where he was mocking Sonata in his didn't he get a win with like Sonata's Skull's End, yeah, and then Sonata comes out at the end. He's there. He shows up and looks like $1 million, man. I want to start getting back into New Japan a little bit and seeing some of what they're doing with him, because it looks good on him. It's just, after Sonata being the guy who you're always sort of wondering, like, why aren't they doing more with this guy? For him to suddenly become IWGP champion, I want to take a little, another look and see what they're doing with him and see if I'm into it.
I remember in the lead up to one of his Okada matches when Okada was champ that he eventually lost. They had an awesome interview with him. It was like one of the first opportunities I've really seen with Sonata. This was years ago, for him to really show like his personality.
Yeah, right.
And it was great. And I was like, why are they doing more with this guy?
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah.
Especially if he's in the ring with the right opponent, he can put on awesome matches.
I'll be honest with you, man. When I first saw Sonata back when we first started watching and he had the space pirate shit going on, I was like, this guy should be champ today, because he was so cool. And not that I don't like it. Jericho had said something like, oh, look at he's channeling his Antonio Inoki, the way he dresses. He's a very sharp guy. I mean, just an immaculate looking guy. But that sort of space punk look that he had before. Oh my God, that was just so unique. It was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like he looked like a dude from the future.
He did. He really did.
And I would have loved to have seen it then, but then like the dude never got big wins, like ever,
Yeah.
So it's good to see that it run.
I think he beat Okada in the G1 once. That was like in a G1 match. That was kind of like his huge win up into winning the title.
Right.
And I guess the story is he had to venture out on his own and become, his own Sonata, I guess, if you will, before he could reach the next step.
Just 5 guys. Yeah.
Just 5 guys. Exactly. Show kicked off with a really fun bout. Chaos. We saw Yo in this match, along with it was Rocky, and it was Best Friends, I believe, against Ospreay, Jeff Cobb, Kyle Fletcher, and Swerve. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Really fun bout. And the Ospreay gets the win after United Empire triple teams Yo. Cobb hits him with an athletic plex. Yo kicks out of that, and then Ospreay hits him with the hidden blade to get the win.
Oof, a hidden blade is nasty.
Yeah.
That's going to be such a good match tomorrow, Ospreay versus Kenny Omega at Niagara Falls. Then we had a Tony Storm Willow video package followed by an Adam Cole Bebe thing. He's about to do the Bebe thing, but he's interrupted by MJF. MJF says, hey, man, thanks for giving me the confidence to face Tanahashi, partner. So I've decided to do the same thing. I got you a match booked at Forbidden Door against Filthy Tom Lawler. And then Lawler and Royce Isaacs from Team Filthy attack Cole from behind. And MJF's like, oh, my goodness, look what's going on. I'll come to save you, partner. And then he stalls and stalls. Then he walks slowly to the ring. He's like, oh, I'll get there eventually. And then Lawler and Isaacs beat feet. They leave. And then MJF says to Cole, have fun at Forbidden Door, partner.
Yeah.
So that should be a good match, too, Adam Cole and Tom Lawler.
Filthy Tom Lawler is a lot of fun in the ring.
He is. He's a blast, yeah.
Tons of fun. Then we got the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass and Trios action against Enhancement Talent. So they won quickly. The Acclaimed did. Arrival, mic drop. And then Harley Cameron comes to the ring.
That's when we do the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a couple dudes with her who are dressed like Jabberwockies, the dance troupe.
Yeah.
And we talked about the segment. And at the end of which QT and Aaron Solo come down, and QT's like, that's enough disrespect of Harley. So the Acclaimed get distracted by QT. They leave the ring. So Daddy Ass is left in there. And then John Morrison, Johnny TV is his name now.
Johnny TV now, yeah.
He was one of the Jabberwocky guys, and he lays out Billy Gunn.
Yeah, man.
So I guess is Johnny TV, QT, and Marshall's plan B, as he mentioned like 5 weeks ago, maybe.
I hope so. Because it means that Hobbs is done with him, because like there was no sign of an alliance between Hobbs and, hey, if they just drop it, I don't need to see an angle.
No,
just drop it.
It'd be something really satisfying to see Hobbs hit QT with a spine buster, though. I'll tell you what.
Not saying it wouldn't. Don't need to see it if it means they just let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. After that, we had a Swerve and Prince Nana promo. Nana says, this Saturday on Collision, the Mogul Embassy and Swerve make their debut. Swerve says, you see, Swerve Strickland, Mogul Embassy, we're after some things. I figured I'd shoot my shot and go after some more gold, the AEW World title. MJF, I know you got a lot of things going on, but at Forbidden Door, I figured I'd cut the line and take out your opponent this Saturday on Collision. Tanahashi, you're in my way. I do what I got to do to get gold. Didn't quite work out from Swerve, but you get back up and try again.
Exactly. They're having Swerve in high profile matches, so hopefully that leads to something.
Yeah.
Then we got Sky Blue versus Anna JAS in an Owen quarterfinal match.
I can think of one person that really can speak about Owen Hart in a way. And
you can stop bringing it up, because every time you mention it,
horse?
I'm going to say no. So just drop it.
It's a Saturday night. Maybe you're feeling a little bit loose. A little Bret Hitman Horse today.
When have you ever known me to feel loose, Steve?
Well, there's still time.
I'm pretty tight.
You're a guy who got hit in the head with a space shuttle.
Well, it was a firework shaped like a space shuttle.
So hopefully I'm thinking it's probably like 85-ish. Probably 85-ish.
I think it was 84. Is 84?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was 84.
All right.
Yeah,
Space
84
race was full on, and we were doing really well then, man.
Yeah, in 84 things were going great.
Things are going great in 84.
Fun match. Sky Blue gets the win here after a code blue. Anna Jay's offense is super fun. Like
Yeah,
when the gory bomb, hitting backstabbers, Queen Slayer. Yeah, Anna Jay hits a gory bomb, gets to Sky eventually. Flings. Oh, Anna Jay locks on the Queen Slayer. Sky flings her into the corner, hits a super kick and Code Blue to get the win. Then we have a Collision hype package hyping up tonight's episode of Collision. And another video package with Doki and Jungle Boy hyping up the main event of Rampage last night. And then we had that match, and it was tons of fun.
Yeah, man, this was a blast. You mentioned that table spot, and then Jungle Boy picks up the win with Skull End.
Yeah,
and then Sonata comes out, and they have a little bit of a face-off.
Yep. All this about Jungle Boy not being familiar with Sonata's work.
Lame.
Highly unlikely, Jack.
I don't believe it. I don't believe your story, Jack. Find your story.
Simply find your story not believable, Jack.
Yeah. Oh, man. Anyways, we want to go ahead and answer some questions.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hold on. Sorry, I got some answers about El Desperado. He's still aligned with Minoru Suzuki. That's right.
Ah, okay. There you go. All right.
It only took me the whole length of the show to figure that out. Apologies.
Adam Bull here in our in our chat here says you guys should do the NXT review instead of Rampage. Here's the thing, though. I didn't watch NXT this week. Actually, no, that's not true. I watched everything except for like the last 30 minutes. Oh. I mainly was just tuning in for the Von Wagner segment, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was really good. It was really, hey, Stone. I was a baby, Stone.
I mean, here's the thing. I think most weeks probably won't cover Rampage unless they continually have enough things. I mean, it's an hour as opposed to 2 hours of NXT. I don't know. It's like every week. There's only so many hours in the day. We're trying to do more produced stuff over at Friendo Club, but while keeping the essence of what we do here intact. So we're trying to still see how it all fits and works.
Like, here's the thing. When AEW added Collision, another 2-hour main roster show, like a big show, I just sort of realized I don't need to be recapping my whole damn week. Like, there are other things that I'd like to do as opposed to adding another show to our schedule. But then you look at what we do and it's like, okay, well, where are the big angles in wrestling that everybody's going to be talking about? It's going to be on Collision. It's going to be on Dynamite. It's going to be on Raw. It's going to be on SmackDown. We used to cover Impact, had to drop that because it was the same reasons. And so I like what NXT does, but there's only so much time in the day, as you just said. And the last thing I want to do is just add more recapping. And so we got to pick and choose what we're going to recap. So the NXT reviews are done for now. We will talk about Von Wagner. I will watch the Von Wagner segments because I find him fascinating. But that's going to be pretty much it, unless huge things happen on NXT.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. And yeah, we are doing more things, like we've got some in-person stuff. We got some produced stuff. We got a great video where we look at a Kevin Nash comic book this past week. Yesterday, I think we did predictions, and then
predictions was Thursday, late Thursday. Yesterday was a tier list. Yeah,
we did a tier list, and we're doing it in person, which is a lot of people asked for.
Yeah,
something's got to give. It's only the two of us.
Yeah, I'm working on the little trivia thing we did with us in person, trying to produce it up a little bit so it's just not a static shot of us talking to each other.
Right? So. Exactly. So there you go.
Anyways. But, like we mentioned when we first talked about not doing the NXT recaps anymore, it's a fluid situation. And yeah, if it's a thing where huge things are happening on NXT that people talk about, then there's a chance we'll work it back into our programming.
Or we'll just talk about the huge things that people are talking about as opposed to this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened.
Yeah.
There's no reason why we can't be like, oh, wow, yeah, this happened. Let's talk about it. You know?
Totally. Alex Foster here has a question. Says, what would Collision Dynamite offer you in catering to try to convince you guys to side with them over the other show? So Collision Dynamite have their own unique catering situations. What would be the one thing that would sway you to choose one over the other?
Okay. Oh, man. So, yeah, go ahead.
So... Like, I like prime rib as much as the next person. I can't be having prime rib every week. It's not good for my health.
Yeah, right.
So, the one thing I gotta have, that I have every day, basically.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is, Steve?
Salad.
Cereal.
Or cereal. Yeah.
So whatever show has the better cereal options, that kind of lines up with what I eat.
Okay.
That's where I'll go.
All right. That's good. Oh man. I'll say this. And maybe it's because I haven't had for a couple of days. I need to get to the store and get some. But like, I'm a big avocado guy.
Oh, avocados are great.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
But I need them.
Same.
And they're good for you. They're heart healthy.
They are.
So I'm going to say, hey, whoever has, but here's the thing about avocados, Larson. It's got the thinnest of windows with which you can eat them, and they're perfect. They're like mushy, but not too mushy.
The only fruit that's maybe worse, peaches.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Peaches have the slimmest window where they're like hard as a rock to mush.
Right. Yeah. So whoever has that perfect avocado window will get my services.
Yeah. I'll let you know, Steve, 2, not me personally, but for dinner, 2 perfectly ripe, delicious avocados.
Were they large ones or like the small?
Yeah, they're good size. Yeah.
Oh my God. You had 2 giant avocados for dinner?
Well, not giant, but the standard yay large.
Like at Winco, they come in either giant or smaller.
Yeah. Trader Joe's is either tiny or standard size.
Okay. Dave Matushek says, you think that if possible, other promotions could be added to Forbidden Door when their schedules allow for it? You know what? I don't know who has to hear this. Make Rampage, rename Rampage Forbidden Door.
Say this to camera, Steve. Say this to camera.
Tony, Rampage is a lame duck. This week was pretty good because of the bone stuff. But make Friday's show the Forbidden Door. Just brand it Forbidden Door. Because and you can have like an AEW person beat an Impact person or wherever you are in town. Another reason why Jeff Jarrett's so great is because when he was doing the Global Force stuff with Impact, the cool idea he did have was he would do tapings at different every time they would go to a different promotion, and you'd get a different feel for wrestling. Every episode would have a different, or every set of tapings would have a different feel for it because you're in a different venue. You have different opponents at that locality, and you can play up. Oh, this week we're in wherever, Cincinnati. Yeah. And so we're, at wherever. So, yeah, Fridays, Forbidden Door Fridays instead of Rampage. You just call it AEW Forbidden Door.
Great idea.
You just have your AEW stars versus local talent or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blake Whitehouse here says, have FTR had the biggest cool down in recent history? They went from being the most over act in the world at Forbidden Door last year to not even being on the card this year despite being champions.
Yeah. When was their last match against the Briscoes? Wasn't that at the end of last year?
Yeah.
I think it was the end, but like in between like June and that match, they were like not around very much.
Yeah, they weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't. Aaron John Cash says, which 4 wrestlers would you want to join WWE from anywhere in the wrestling world? 2 men, 2 women.
Which 4 wrestlers from what?
From anywhere in the world do you want to go to WWE? 2 men, 2 women.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say Willow and Masha Slamovich. And the men would be Jay White and Okada.
Interesting.
They can renew their rivalry, but
wow. Yeah. Masha and Willow are good answers, yeah. For the men, I'll say Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Let's see here. Jay Butler says, how do you think the 4 Horsemen would have done if they debuted in WWE at the prime? The Horsemen. For some reason, I was reading a Horsewomen at the height of their greatness, like Prime Horsemen. If they debuted into, okay. So like 84, 85, 86 or whatever Horsemen.
Yeah.
You plunk them down in WWE then.
They just didn't really, I don't know, like the Horseman thing wouldn't have fit into what 85 WWF was.
Not at all. Yeah. Rich guys who fly in private jets, but they're still just sort of dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
no.
$1 Million Man would just laugh at them.
I know.
He'd be like, I've got a whole fleet of private jets. Ha, ha, ha.
Exactly.
And then
yeah,
squash.
It's a disconnect in styles from what they were doing in the South versus what they were doing in WWE. I don't know if it would have worked.
Yeah.
Zach Sparks here says, I'm the only one getting really tired of the work shoot style of promo, especially in AEW. Tensions have been so high that I constantly worry someone is going to be a foot out the door over drama.
Well, I cracked a joke during the stream tonight when Jay White did the gun finger to CM Punk's head. And I was like, oh, CM Punk didn't approve that. Be careful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to think that over time that'll sort of settle down. And like, I don't know if people get on the same page according to Dave Meltzer. They're not on the same page at all. I hope that's sort of exaggerated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of over it too. I don't need that shit. You know?
No, I don't either. I don't either.
Yeah. Doesn't do much for me anymore.
Nope. Ty Moore here says, what measures do you think they're going to do to make sure that Punk and the Elite don't see each other at Forbidden Door? They'll have their own buses probably, and they'll get off their buses when it's time for their match.
They'll have like the hallways will be lit with like red light or blue light. If you're in the red zone, you can't be the Elite there.
There you go.
Like the Elite have to stay in the blue zone, and Punk and FTR, they have to stay in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's good.
Jesse Helsey says, when's the next Dark Side review dropping? I don't know. We'll figure that one out at some point.
Did you watch the Doink one?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I should.
Sebastian here says, if AEW had a Forbidden Door show, would you be okay with them focusing more on dream matches and storylines? Yeah, that's all I really care about. Forbidden Door is an exhibition show as far as I'm concerned. I just want cool matches.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I like that too. I think that's great. Yeah, I mean, look, we don't have a Dark Side review for Doink the Clown, but we do have an awesome video where we look at the Kevin Nash comic book. Yes. Not enough people have seen that. I'm very disappointed in everybody.
Yes, go watch that, please.
Go watch that. It's great. Metal Pulse says, when Orange Cassidy loses his title, what's next for him? When he loses his title.
When?
What's next for him? Retirement.
Yeah, I know. He's going to have a Bruno-esque run with that international
it certainly seems
championship
like
at this rate.
I don't know. I love Orange Cassidy. It's crazy that guy's been able to remain fresh for 4 years doing the same shit.
I know.
So I don't know. Maybe world title aspirations. I don't even know how to book that.
Well, I mean, you put him in a program with MJF for the title.
Yeah.
Orange won't win, but Mayor Planet Houston says the crowd turned on Jungle Boy. Kind of talked about this on Rampage. Got really behind Doki. When the crowd constantly roots for the other person, is it time to turn heel? Yes. The thing is that they were into Jungle Boy. They were singing the song and doing the dance and stuff, and then by the end of the match, boo.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Clown says, will there be a follow-up with issue 2? No, but I do want to keep doing other comic books and see if we can get those numbers up a little bit. If the demand ends up being there, like if we can push that Nash episode up using the other like comic book episodes, which all might bomb too. I don't know. It's fun. It is fun content. And I think that there's something to be said for like, it doesn't have to perform great, but it's really fun.
Yeah.
So
like the Undertaker comic that
that's going to be next. That's going to be next. That'll be
where we get the River Stygian from.
The River Stygian. Yeah. So anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. One last word from Brett Hitman Horse, maybe?
Nope. I will say this though.
Yeah.
On the episode, if you haven't yet, please, whether you're watching live VOD, if you give this episode thumbs up, hit that like button, please.
Yeah.
Please. We're new to this whole YouTube podcast thing.
All right. Yeah. For sure.
We hear that's good.
Yeah, we've heard that.
To get lots of thumbs up. Thumbs ups.
Multiple thumbs up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. At least, 200. 200 seems like a good number.
Yeah, 200 would be great. That'd be awesome.
There's 311 people watching right now.
I know, it's weird. You'd think that after AEW Collision, we have like a ton of people, but no, we don't. They're used to us on the noonday, on the noon Pacific. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for the show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time. We'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.